Hello and welcome to Connect Sunday, the video helping you to prepare for Mass and to reflect on the Sunday Gospel together. Well, today it is the 7th Sunday of Ordinary Time, and today we are looking at Luke 6, 27 to 38. So in today's Gospel, we're continuing this Luke's Sermon on the Plain. Well, it's Jesus' sermon, but it's Luke's version of Jesus' sermon. So it's not Matthew's Sermon on the Mount, it's Luke's Sermon on the Plain. And so here we have Jesus giving us more of this upside down kingdom stuff that can be quite difficult for us to hear and to practice, especially in today's Gospel. Because here we hear about this radical living that we are called to. And it is going to be difficult and it's going to take quite a lot of effort. But with God's help, anything is possible. And this is all about love and compassion and looking out for other people and putting other people first and not ourselves first. And so in this passage, we're reminded to not pay back like for like. So we don't give expecting to receive back. And if somebody hurts us, we don't meet that hurt with even more hurt. We stop that anger. And these can be quite difficult because usually we think about things in that kind of payback sort of a way, don't we? Good things and bad things. If I do a nice thing for you, I expect a nice thing back. If you do a horrible thing to me, I'll probably do a horrible thing to you. But that is not what Jesus is saying we are called to. We are called to this radical living, this radical loving living, which is all about turning things upside down from what the world usually does, because the world usually sees things in this payback kind of a way. But all of our liturgy today is pointing towards this compassion and love. We see in the psalm today, the response is, the Lord is compassion and love. And remember, the first reading is usually linked to the gospel. And so there we have this story of David who has a choice. Either he can do something really bad or he can step away and be the bigger person in the situation. So maybe have a look at that first reading as well and see how does that reflect what Jesus is saying in his sermon. And so, as I say, it's quite difficult to do these things. We're so used to wanting something back in return when we do something good. And it's hard to not fight back when something bad happens to us. But with the help of the Holy Spirit, by praying, by staying connected with God, we have a much better chance at living out this radical, compassionate love with all those around us. Okay, it's time for our question of the week. And this week our question is, why is Genesis the first book of the Bible? So, as I've said before, the Bible is not just one book, but it's lots of other books put together. It's a library of books. They're in different styles, and Genesis is our first one. In fact, the first 5 books of the Bible are called the Pentateuch. So we have Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, okay? And Genesis is put first because in the Hebrew name for Genesis, just takes it from the very first word, which means in the beginning. Okay, so in Genesis, we have creation accounts, we have what happens at the very beginning of humanity, and then we have these stories, these origin stories of God's chosen people. And so it makes a lot of sense for that to be the first one, because it's in the beginning is the first words, and it's all about creation and the start. So the beginning of Genesis is there was nothing, and then God creates. So that is why Genesis is the first book of the Bible, because Genesis means origin, source, creation, the beginning of everything. So if you have a question for question of the week, please email me, colorandshapeonline@gmail.com, and I will find you an answer. So don't forget to head over to the colorandshapeonline.com website, where you'll find even more resources to get into the theme each week. There are discussion questions, reflection questions, creative ideas. So head over there, find those things, and I will see you next week.